Is the Trinity ranked in a hierarchy? And are men and women? The quick answer to the question, is the Trinity ranked in a hierarchy, are men and women, is no, absolutely not.
You know, when it comes to men and women, some people try to mess with the Trinity. They say, yep, since men are the authority over women, the same holds true for the Trinity. They say the Trinity operates with a one-direction flow of authority, Father over Son over Spirit, for eternity. And so should men and women. Wow, we really need to be very careful with our theology. Now let's think about it. Men and women were created with the same commands, the same blessings, the same responsibilities. But men and women are clearly not the same. Some are taller, weaker, faster, smarter, more experienced. Some people are good with directions. Some people are better at math. Some people are amazing with music.
We're not equal in every way, obviously.
Because our bodies are differentiated by gender, women have certain physical abilities that men simply do not have.
I cannot, as much as I might want to, feed another human being directly from my body. That's just an amazing thing I cannot do.
Still, you will not find a ranked hierarchy in the ideal family in Genesis 1 and 2. But you will find one in the fallen family starting in Genesis 3, with either men over women or at times women over men. Today, we all have the choice of how we seek to live. Jesus tells us to aim for unity, which will draw people to God. Okay, so now with the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 in 1. They are perfect in every way. As the Athanasian Creed states, there is none before or after, none greater or lesser. The whole 3 persons are co-eternal, co-equal. Importantly, the Trinity does not possess differing levels of authority, power, or will. The Trinity is not a ranked hierarchy. Instead, the triune Godhead shares mutually and perfectly in attributes and in actions. We can see this in John 14:16, 23, and 26. I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and to be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. But the advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you.
Now, as hard as we may try, our small 3-pound brains cannot comprehend the full mystery of the Trinity. Are you surprised? Philippians 2 teaches that Jesus humbled himself and made himself a servant. John 3:16 says, the Father sent the Son. Well, is it both? Or is the Father in charge? Or did Jesus send himself? You know, when Jesus was incarnate, he limited his glory when he became a human. For a set amount of time, as a human, Jesus could truly say, the Father is greater than I. He could say, I don't know, but the Father knows, because Jesus showed us what it meant to be fully human. He was both fully divine and fully human. He could say the Father and I are one. He could say the Father is greater than I, and because he had 2 natures, 100% divine, 100% human, he was speaking truth at both times. The confusion comes if people place what they see in limited incarnation back into the Trinity. When Jesus said, I don't know, but the Father knows, was he speaking as the Word, the eternal part of the triune God? Or was he speaking as a lower, limited servant of a human? Now, this has been going on for a long time. In fact, in the 4th century, there was a priest from Alexandria, Egypt. His name was Arius. He actually promoted the belief that God the Father created Jesus the Son. Arius stated, "There was a time when he was not." That is, there was a time when Jesus did not exist. To ensure this poor theology did not pollute the Christian faith, the whole church gathered for the Council of Nicaea in 325 and again in 381 in Constantinople. They were clarifying the Trinitarian doctrine. At these councils, they did not come up with an eternal hierarchy in the Trinity. But the church fathers from Cappadocia developed the word perichoresis to battle the Arian heresy and to clarify Trinitarian relationships.
Okay, it's another big word. What does this word mean? Well, perichoresis literally means peri, which means around. Choresis means rotating. So perichoresis means rotating around. Another way to describe perichoresis is mutual indwelling. Perichoresis means no person of the Trinity operates independently from the other persons. When the Son acts, the Father and the Spirit act as well. When the Spirit acts, the Father and Jesus act. Jesus said, "If you have seen me, you have seen the Father." Jesus described Pentecost as when the Spirit came to indwell believers. At that same time, the Father and Son also come to make our home with them. Every divine action, including creation, the cross, and Pentecost, involve all three persons of the Trinity. Perichoresis also means that any character trait or attitude that we see in one person of the Trinity must be true for the other persons as well. So it's like if you see Jesus loving or healing or forgiving, we know the same is true of the Father and of the Spirit. Likewise, when Jesus humbly yields and submits, then we also know that the Father and Spirit also humbly submit and yield.
So today, some evangelical theologians and leaders have partially slipped into Arius' belief system. While they correctly believe that Jesus is eternal, they promote the belief that the Father and the Son possess differing levels of authority. The Father always commands, the Son always obeys, some of them say. This view actually parallels Arius' focus on the supremacy of the Father. They mistakenly take the limitations of Jesus' incarnation and read them back into the eternal Trinity. Now, this poor theology of the Trinity leads many of them to justify a fixed hierarchy not only between Father, Son, and Spirit, but a fixed hierarchy between men and women. Their phrase is equal but different. The truth is, the Trinity is not equal in essence, different in function, and neither are people.
Be very careful when you are reading your understanding of the male-female relationship back into the Trinity. Rather, we should allow the Trinity to inform our understanding of how men and women are to relate. The Trinity operates with perfect unity, perfect love, perfect holiness. This is an incredible goal for our human relationships. It's not possible to completely do it, but we aim for it. While the Trinity is differentiated as Father, Son, and Spirit, and while humans are differentiated as male and female, we can still seek to honor, yield, serve, promote, submit, and love one another.
So with these thoughts, take a few moments and consider the following questions. What does this teach you about the character and nature of God? What does it say about the character and nature of people? What is something that you can obey today from this? And who can you share this with? Until all know, run with it.